Welcome back, and good to see all of you back. I want to do a quick check-in. Um, we have always done, we will do a few introductory exercises to get us moving, and then we'll talk for a little bit about the theme of the day, and we'll finish up with the main body of the class. So first, I just wanted to check in with everybody. Any physical problems from last week? Class seems like it's benign, but we're moving a lot of body parts that we aren't used to using. So anything that you noticed, back problems, in particular knee problems, foot, ankle, mysterious shoulder things? All good. All right. Great. Don't hesitate to let me know if you do encounter such problems. I consider this a beta run. It's a beta testing. So as my valued beta testers, please let me know. I just want to remind everybody, as we say every time, this is a Zoom class. I'm going to be standing back over there so that you can see my feet. That means I will not be able to see the pictures of you much at all. And I have no way of knowing what's behind your camera, to the side of your camera, down below your camera, any of those other things. So please take a look around, just as if I were looking around the dojo, checking for your safety. Because unfortunately, you have to do it yourself. Look and see if there's any trip hazards, any carpets, any pets, any sleeping children, any doll heads lying about that you might step on, any of those things that might inhibit your concentration during our time together. And please don't get hurt. If you had a massively challenging week and you're not feeling your best, and I ask you to do something that would ordinarily be no problem at all, but today I just don't really want to do that, don't. Modify it. This whole class is about paying attention to your body. And if it's a funny thing, when I started Shintaido when I was 25 in Japan, we were all about pushing our limits, and it was great. And I had never done anything quite that pushy of my limits before, and it was very exciting and very useful. But this type of class, I don't think it works very well to push our limits. It's for this kind of class, it's very slow, it's very thoughtful. We're thinking about it a lot. I think it works better if we're usually functioning a little bit below our absolute limit in terms of our physical ability. Because when I'm trying to work at my limit and push my limits, I can't concentrate on some cool postural stuff that it might be helpful if I tweak it. I can't really concentrate on my breathing. The movement has to do it for me, which is great if we're all running down the beach at 90 miles an hour with sticks over our heads screaming, because the movement will take care of it for us. This type of class is different. So we have to be a little bit coherent in our mind-body approach to holding the space and being together. And mostly I'm really interested in getting my body to talk to my brain, and it won't work if my brain won't listen. So I have to just let my brain be quiet, not push. And it's very good at pushing, and it's very good at explaining to myself how I should be working harder and all those things. So just for an hour here, give yourself a break from that. Don't push. It'll be a challenge. It'll be hard. It won't feel right. And let your body have a chance to run the conversation. Just like last time, if you should have to leave before class, we'll be sad to see you go, but please leave a note or something so that we know that you didn't fall over and have a faint outside of the camera range or some other scary thing. It helps me hold the space, so that's really helpful. Okay, so we're going to warm up a little bit with the same movements we did last time, and then we'll sit down and we'll talk about today's topic. So if you've got a chair handy, you'll want that, or a stool, or a corner to lean on, or whatever. And then we'll go back into the rest of the class. So we're going to start with, it's just kind of our warm up. We're starting with wiggling our muscles, feeling our muscles, feeling our bones. And like we did last time, we're going to start with the feet. And you're going to wiggle your toes, find your toes, feel them on the floor, let them wiggle around, let them shift a little bit. Shift your feet, shift your ankles. All those bones are kind of waking up. You remember we talked last week and week before last about how the more flexible the bones in the feet are, the more resilient they are if we should lose our balance. Even when you're wearing shoes, if you have flexible feet, you can sometimes catch yourself in a fall before it ever even becomes a fall. And we're coming up on slick ground weather. So it's a good thing to have your feet talking to the ground and listening to the ground too. Okay, so remember the hypothetical imaginary towel that we reach out and we pull with our toes. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Other foot. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. So Helena, everybody else has been doing this for 4 weeks now. And if you do it a lot and you haven't ever done it before, it might give you a cramp in your ankles, in your calves. There's no need to get a cramp in your calves. So don't go over the top with it unless you just, enjoy cramped calves, which is sort of exciting. Well, yes, we all have those experiences, huh? Ni, san, shi, go. Now this is kind of cool. If you are enjoying this, and right now we're pulling the toes and curling the toes, but you don't, after you get used to it, you don't have to curl your toes. You can just lift the arch of your foot, which is an even better way to toast your calf muscles and get cramps. But you can see what an advantage that is. Is it? Can you see that? Is that too faint? Okay. And it's really helpful for all of this arch stuff. It refreshes the feet, kind of wakes things up. And I find it helps my ankles to get better circulation too. Okay. So this particular class, we're going to be looking at Hitobito, other people. And you wouldn't think that had a lot to do with feet, but I find that if I don't have my feet reaching down into the ground for me and helping me reach up toward 10, like we did last time, no way am I actually going to be effectively reaching out to other people. I just end up yelling at other people, and there's lots of people already doing that. So that niche is oversubscribed. So we're trying to do something else by letting our bodies listen. And then our brains figure it out too, and they kind of figure out how to listen. And mine listen better if my feet are relaxed. So feet shifting down into the ground, and then raising up on one ball of the foot and the other ball of the foot, and the first one and the other one and the first one and the other one and the first one and the other one. Now, okay, find your fingers, let them wiggle, shake, let your whole arm shake, kind of up to your shoulder girdle. So you guys probably already know this, but I just discovered yesterday that the shoulder girdle goes down below the armpit. It's like, oh, of course it does. The shoulder girdle floats. We talked about that last week. So it just floats on the ribs. It only connects to the ribs right here in the front of to the sternum, and all the rest of it is completely free and just held on there by muscles and things. And that's also true of under the armpit. So the shoulder, the pectoral muscles are so tight on most of us that it's hard to feel that. But if you can kind of feel your armpit kind of waking up, like you're doing the universal post or hug a tree, or any of the up and down movements, that airiness from here is going to help your whole collarbone, your whole shoulder girdle relax. And for me, because my head tends to come forward, it really helps my head to go back. It gives it space to move into. So it's very airy. It's like air lifting everything up and floating everything up. Okay. And you can stretch your fingers this way, ich, sa, shi, go, and interlink the other way, ich, sa, shi, go, and ich, sa, shi, go, and ich, sa, shi, go. And rub your hands and work the thumb. We're also used to washing our hands. Now this seems a lot more familiar than it used to. And work the base of the thumb. Work the base of the thumb. Okay. Great. Okay. So we're going to find the core muscles now. And the core muscles pretty much start at the abdominal floor, which is right at your groin. They lift up and kind of hold your insides on the inside rather than letting them go on the outside, which is a good thing. And the core muscles start from here, and they run up. Most of the time, people talk about the core muscles and they kind of stop at the ribs, but I find it helps me to run my feeling of core muscles clear up into my neck. It helps with my Tenso feeling and my Ten Qi Jing connection. So the core is, and I like to visualize it like this column of light that goes down through my torso. Starts maybe it's about the size of my neck, and it just runs right down in front of my backbone, and then it ends at the abdominal floor. And the energy, of course, doesn't stop there. It just shoots down the legs into the ground, and it shoots up from my neck through my head, what we worked on last time, into the sky. So we're going to find that column of light, and we're going to shift back and forth. So here's your feet on the ground. You're going to shift your weight this side, this side, this side, this side. And you can imagine, if you like this kind of image, that the weight is coming up your leg like sand pouring across your pelvis and down into the other side. And then it comes up. If you like to think of a river, that's fine too. And across your pelvis and down the other side. And what we don't want to do is be doing hiking like the pelvis stays level. It's shift and shift and shift and shift. Very good. And now we're going to let that energy in that light column come up through our body, and shifting and shifting. The pelvis is moving and flexing. That all the muscles around your center of your body are moving and flexing just a little bit as you breathe. And the energy is floating up through your shoulders. If you yawn, that's fine. That just means you're getting more oxygen. So we talked just a little bit earlier about your underarms, your armpits floating up. The whole shoulder girdle floats up and relaxes and floats up, kind of like you're a puppet and the strings are on your elbows, and relaxes up. So everybody here who has done Shintaido a lot will be so used to moving from your elbows, especially if you've done bow. But most of our students are not at all familiar with moving from their elbows, and they're not at all familiar with moving from the wrist. So they need help they need a little practice to let the wrist lift up. They're used to moving from their fingers. So the wrist lifts up and it goes down and it lifts up and it goes down and it lifts up and it goes down. And our challenge as teachers is to get them to do that without telling them too much about it. Because if we tell them, which bone in the wrist or something, I've done that, it doesn't work. They just think too much and then they get more confused. So we have to find images that work for us. Because if the image doesn't work for us, it won't work when we're teaching it to them. And then we find the images that also work not only for us, but for them too. Okay. And now we're going to let the arms flow way up. Clear over here. I'm bending my knees just so you can see my hands, and come down. And float up. And come down. This is a Tai Chi movement called Four Seasons. And float up, except without the bent knees. And come down. And it looks very much like our Taimyo movement, where we float up, both palms up, and do that left hand over right thing, and then scan down. We'll do that later today. Okay. All right. Let's just do that one more time. Just the float up, come down, breathe in, breathe out. Yummy, very good. Okay, get your chair or whatever, or stand up if you prefer. So I want to talk about our topic, which is Hitobito, of which I have a picture. There it is. That the character on this side is person, and this one means more of that. So I don't know if you could have more of necos or cats or dogs or things, but Hitobito is means several or people in general. Okay. So that's our topic, and I've translated it in the literature we're using as others, sort of folks out there, or we could say, because people make up most of our world, we could say that just say the world. We've got earth, we've got heaven, we've got the world, and then next week we'll talk about unity. So we've been using soft hand Shintaido throughout this series, letting the soft hand techniques connect our bodies and bring them into alignment with our minds. That was the first class. And then with Chi or earth, that was our second class. And with Ten or heaven, that was our third class. And then today with other people. And we did that by looking inward the first week to find ourselves and connect. We used our bodies to find ourselves, sort of. And then the second week, we used our bodies to find the ground. And the third week, we used our bodies to find the sky, the outside of us that's above us, or the meta universe, maybe. And then this week, we'll use our bodies to find. It's pretty easy to find other people out there. They're, going hither and thither, and you can see them on YouTube and stuff. But to actually connect with them and have any kind of meaningful, non-stereotypical interaction is a whole more complicated kettle of fish. So I find that my body can really help me do that. And that's what we'll be playing with today. In particular, I think the one of the really interesting things, especially in this day of Zoom, is how we connect with each other without actually touching each other, without actually even being in the same physical space, and or being in the same physical space or the same psychological space, but not running into each other. In other words, making enough room for all of us to move through space without crashing. And when I first started Shintaido in Tokyo, I was just astonished. I was so shy, and I was just astonished by all the physical contact, because, I mean, first it's Japan, so body space is closer. And then it's Shintaido, so body space is really close. And, and it was the first time in my life that I'd ever been that close to people that weren't my family or my husband, and felt unthreatened by that extremely close physical proximity. And we were like, there'd be 30 of us in a line in the dojo. 15 on each side, doing Tenshin Goso Kumite on our knees. And we were beginners, so we'd fall on each other quite a bit. And just tip over, and there you are on top of this total stranger. And it was just fine. It was like, okay, Lee-san, let's try that again, shall we? We'll fix your balance this time. So I found out that it was okay to be physically in extremely close contact with people, and it wasn't a big deal. But the even more interesting thing was, for me, was when we did interactions that didn't involve falling on each other, that I managed to miss the person, usually when I was a beginner, because they were so graceful, and we moved around each other. I remember doing Eiko in a circle in this not very large gymnasium, and we would run until people fell down, and kind of went into a hikari state and collapsed on the floor, and nobody ever got stepped on, because they were on the floor and everybody else went around them and jumped over them and whatever, and then some of the senior people would take them off to the side. But it was a very safe place to work and to fall and to move, because people were so resilient. So I would love it if we could learn as a culture to do that for each other. I had no idea that it was possible. I thought all interactions were, kind of like this. So later on, I started learning irimi, stepping in, stepping back, stepping sideways. And you can't do irimi without being connected to your partner, because there's no there. That's the whole thing that makes irimi is to have two people. So, and the wakame kumite, and especially the large group wakame, when we'd have sometimes we'd have 100 people doing wakame in a big puddle, basically a big pool, and figuring out how to change my views of flexibility and also how to live with confrontation and with conflict, and to not let the confrontation and the conflict dominate the conversation. So I'd like to try an experiment today because Zoom. So we'll actually do the same program that we've done every week, except every week we change it because of the focus of that week. And today we're going to focus on reaching our perception out. And then after the breathing exercise, we'll try doing wakame together. And we'll see if we can do group wakame in any meaningful way on Zoom. I'm looking forward to seeing if it works at all. It'll be fun. So, and then we'll finish up the class as we've done before with soft hand Tenshin Gosa. So our first class was Ware, which connected to what's inside us, and then centering and reaching in. And then the second class was Chi, or earth, grounding, reaching down, drawing energy up from the earth. The third class was Ten, stretching up, reaching up, drawing energy down from the meta universe. And today we're going to work on Hitobito, which is connecting by reaching out. And we'll start with the same exercises that we used in classes 1, 2, and 3. But I'd like you to especially pay attention to where we all are in the world. I find it helpful, especially when I'm actually not in physical proximity with people, to reach down with my feet more. And that's one of the reasons that we do so much footwork getting started. So let's start as a way of helping us connect with each other. Let's do foot massage again. Big size foot massage. So who doesn't like that? Okay, so if it's, we want to get one foot where you can reach it. And we're going to start by just rotating an ankle. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Helen, I count in Japanese. That's why it sounds like it's not English. I like Japanese because there's vowels and you can make it go, go. Okay, and toes, ich, ni, san, shi, go. Second toe, ich, ni, san, shi, go. Third toe, ich, ni, san, shi, go. Fourth toe, ich, ni, san, shi, go. Little pinky toe, ich, ni, san, shi, go. Okay, take your thumbs and work on the ball of your foot. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Rok, shich, hach, ich, ni, san, shi, go. I'm just marching my thumbs up toward my heel. Okay, and then just kind of gently squeeze your foot. Gently is the operative word here. It's a gentle, like it's a very fragile dish towel that was embroidered by your grandmother, and you're squeezing the water out of it gently. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Rok, shich, hach. Okay, find the muscle in front of your heel here and massage that. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Very good. And all the heel itself, ni, san, shi, go. Great. And find a place to put your foot and work up around the ankle. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Again. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Returning all of those fluids back up toward the heart. All right. Okay, let's do the other foot. And rotate. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Other direction. Ich, ni, San, Shi, Go. And toes. Ich, Ni, San, Shi, Go. Second toe. Ich, Ni, San, Shi, Go. Third toe. Ich, Ni, San, Shi, Go. Fourth toe. Ich, Ni, San, Shi, Go. Fifth toe. Ich, Ni, San, Shi, Go. And thumbs down the base of your foot. Ich, Ni, San, Shi, Go. Ich, Ni, San, Shi, Go. Pay special attention to that muscle right in front of your heel. And now work around the heel itself. Ich, Ni, San, Shi, Go. Ich, Ni, San, Shi, Go. Very good. Work the fluids out of your ankles. Ich, Ni, San, Shi, Go. Ich, Ni, San, Shi, Go. Okay. Okay, are we still on? All right. So now our feet are all happy and awake. And we'll go to, go ahead and turn your mic off. And we'll go to our breathing exercises. So, as we've done before, we're going to start with a bow and then mokuso. And Helena, this is just a Japanese style bow. It looks like this from the front. And from the side, it looks like this. Okay, so everybody relax, reach down to the ground, stand up straight, and bow. Hide. Very good. Okay, and we've been entering into mokuso by using the last movement from Tenshin Goso. So you're going to reach up, hands just float up gently. Right hand comes over left. They swing down like this. Left thumb goes inside. Pay no attention to these details if it's your first time. And feet together. And feet open up to hip width. Hands at your side. So one more time. Reach out. Right hand on top. Draw in. Left thumb inside your right hand. Let your hands drop. And we're going to do a quiet mind movement. It's called mokuso. Mokuso. Mokuso yame. That means stop. And bow to the group. Right. Very good. Okay. Stand up. And we're going to, like I said before, we're going to use our bodies to find our space in the universe. The first class, we used them to find where we are. The second class, we used them to find where the ground is. And then the third class was where heaven or the meta universe is. And this class is to find out where everybody is. You really need to reach down through the ground. Very good. Yes. Now we'll use do some more weight shifting, and we're going to do this really slowly. So we'll use heisokudachi, feet parallel, about hip width apart. Just shift your weight. We did this a little bit before. Shift your weight back to center. Shift your weight. And every time you shift your weight, imagine that the energy is running down your leg into the ground, and under the ground is where we're all connected. So we've got a picture on Zoom, but that's not where the connection is. The energy comes back up, across your pelvis, down the other leg, into the ground, where we're all connected. Breathe in, it comes up, across the pelvis. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Great. Okay. Now you're going to widen your stance. Turn your toes out about 45 degrees, but you want to make sure that your knees stay over your toes. So don't be turning your knee in like that. You don't want to turn it out farther than your toe. That's really difficult for me to do, but I think some really flexible people can do it. You want to line so that your knee goes out over your index toe. And you don't want to go too far forward. I was taught to do that in Japan, but if you're working with beginners, it's probably a good idea not to. They might hurt their knees. So we're going to be in Hachijidachi, and we're going to just shift our weight. So one side, and shift back, and the other side. And shift back, and one side. And shift back, and other side. And shift back. Good. Okay, now let's do Hachijidachi, but we won't shift the weight, and we'll just go up and down from flat feet to tiptoes. I know that all of you folks have really good balance and you can do this just fine, but I think you may find it useful. I find it useful to have like a finger on the wall because I don't want to be thinking. I don't want to be struggling with my balance. I want to be letting my mind be quiet. And if it's saying, wait, your foot, you have to do this other thing, I can't listen to my body. So I'm just helping myself out by putting a finger or a hand on the wall. We're going to go up and down. And from the side, that looks like up and down and up and down and up and down, up and down. Okay, and up and down and up Great. Okay. And if you want to, you can try this, or you can just stay with what we've been doing. So we're going to go up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down. Other side first. Up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down. Very good. Great. So I find that really helpful to get centered and grounded. And also it's kind of like Kaikak-sho, kind of, you know, it's about all my beginners can do that is close to Kaikak-sho, and it gives them that same connection to the ground without having to bend their knees that much. Okay, so now we know where our feet are. So we're going to find out where our hands are. Do the same thing we did before. Make a little fist. Let your fingers stretch out. Make a little fist. One finger at a time. Stretch out one finger at a time. Make a little fist. And stretch out. Very good. Shake, 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 shake. Make sure your arms are floating. Make sure your neck is relaxed so you can let your arms float up and let the armpits connect with your neck and relax it. Excuse me. And then you can okay, are we still? Am I back? Yes, good. Okay. Let your head turn to one side slowly and back to center, and to the other side, and back to center, and the other side, back to center, the other side. Let the chin droop down and rotate to the other shoulder, and down and rotate to the other shoulder. Very good. Shoulders float. Okay. Great. Reach up and massage your neck and your jaw. Let those muscles kind of relax. I don't know about you, they're usually tight on me. While you're doing that, make sure that your toes are still relaxed. If your toes are relaxed, it's going to be a lot easier for some strange reason to relax your jaw. I think it's amazing how the body's all connected like that. And don't forget to reach around the back of your head and massage where your neck goes into your skull. Okay. Imagine that your ears are kind of lifting up. Maybe somebody's gently pulling on your ears. Maybe your ears are elf ears. Maybe they're Dr. Spock ears. Your elf ears are streaming back in the breeze as you fly somehow through Elf Kingdom or something. Okay. All right. Let's start our connection process. Reach down. Feet reach down to the ground. Find your tanden. Tanden, remember, here's my belly button. I'm going to move down about 4 inches. That's my tanden inside my body. Okay. Find the tanden and imagine that it's a coal of something warm. I like to think of you can think of a ball of energy if you like. When you breathe in, it gets a little bigger and it sort of gets brighter. And then when you breathe out, it gets quiet. And you breathe in. Breathe in. Tanden gets a little bigger every time. Breathe out. That energy is just filling your belly. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let that energy fill down the base of your belly where your hip sockets are, right about here. So relaxing all those muscles. Breathe out. Now your belly's full of energy and it's beginning to run down your thighs, down toward your knees. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Meanwhile, your feet, especially that muscle right in front of the heel, every time you breathe in, it reaches down and connects with energy from the earth, which runs up through your feet. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. That energy fills your feet up and it moves up to your ankles. Breathe out. Breathe in. That energy runs up your calves. Breathe out. As you breathe in this time, the energy comes up from the ground and down from your tanden, and they meet around your knee someplace. This big river of energy. Meanwhile, your fingers are feeling the energy of the air. And breathe out. And breathe in. Your fingers and hands are full of energy. Breathe out. Breathe in. That energy runs up your wrists. Breathe out. Breathe in, runs up your elbows. Breathe out. Meanwhile, the energy from your tanden is filling up your belly, up towards your stomach and your upper abdomen. Moves right through the diaphragm. Breathe in, fills up your rib cage. Breathe out. Energy is running up through your fingers into your armpits and through the tanden into your armpits and your shoulder girdle. Breathe out. Meanwhile, your head is floating on your spine. And every time you breathe in, it opens up to the energy from heaven, pouring down another big river of energy. Breathe in, down through your mouth and jaw and neck, down to your collarbone. Give it a little time. That's all kind of complicated, that whole area. It's running together with the river of energy coming up. And you have one big pillar of energy through your whole body. Okay, relax for a minute. Move your feet. Shake your hands. Okay, breathe in. Energy fills your body. Breathe out. Wonderful. From here, we'll go to wakame. So I'm going to give you some guides because Zoom. So I will first just have you look around, make sure your space is safe. And I'm going to have everybody do, is there anyone besides Helena that has not done wakame? Billias, are you familiar with wakame? Great. Okay. So everybody just do wakame on your own. Helena, if you want to, you can just watch me and kind of copy what I do. It's just, you're imagining that you're a piece of seaweed. That's what wakame means. It's a seaweed and you're rooted in the ground, but you're moving with the water. So you're just flowing with the water. You can have your eyes half closed if you like. I wouldn't close them all the way. Keep your feet still, please. If we were out in a big field, we could walk around, but for now, let's just keep your feet in one spot. Okay, and the ocean comes past you. It's just this gentle tropical ocean, and you just kind of follow the ocean. And whenever you come back, you're a seaweed because sort of naturally you're going to go up to the sun. So whenever you come back toward vertical, you kind of get straight and then you drift off with the seaweed again. Wherever the ocean takes you. But you like the sun, so sun. Just gradually shifting your weight back and forth. And gradually let yourself come back to vertical. Yummy. Okay, now I'm going to tell you what part of the body to move. So you can just kind of follow my directions and I'll try to remember to tell you forward and back. And we'll imagine that we're all doing wakame together, okay? As just as a group, but not moving with each other. We're just all moving as a unit. So shoulders forward and come back. And it would help if I told you which shoulder. So now left shoulder forward. And come back. And right shoulder forward. And back. And left shoulder forward. And back. And right hip forward. And back. And left hip forward. And back. And right hip forward. And back. And left hip forward. And back. And your whole body forward. And back. And now kind of to the left and forward. And back. And right side forward. And back. And left side forward. And back. Yummy. Very good. All right, part 3. So we're going to imagine that we're working with somebody, and we don't, because Zoom, we won't pair off right now formally, but please imagine somebody in the group that you're doing wakame with. You don't have to tell them. If 2 people are working with 1 person, we don't care. But Helena, I'm going to work with you. You can work with me if you want to, but I'm focusing my connection towards you. Okay? So we'll just all bow to the screen because we're bowing to each other hypothetically. And as the leader, I'm going to tell you shoulders and hips and whole body, but you choose whether you go forward or back. See if you can feel what your hypothetical partner is doing. And it doesn't really matter if your hypothetical partner happens to be doing it exactly that time, because if we're going to meet this way, we might as well also meet across time and space. So they're going to be doing it in the right connection sooner or later, if you happen to be nerdy that way. Okay, so get ready. And right shoulder. And left shoulder. And right shoulder. And left shoulder. And right hip. And left hip. And right hip. And left hip. And whole body. And whole body. And whole body. And whole body. And bring yourself back. Ayame. Feet together. Bow to your partner. Well done. So, um, to end the class, we'll do soft hand tenshin goso. And Helena, you haven't done this before, so you can just copy us. We'll start with we'll start with our objective. Our objective is to reach a point of open stillness. So it's a non-judgmental stillness, I guess, and attentiveness without anticipation. That was Nancy Billias' term. I love that. So we're still, we're open, we're in the space, but we're not filling the space with ourselves. There's room for other people, room for other Hitobito. And we're connecting, as we all need to so badly, with this underground stillness. Our world is so noisy, right? I mean, I don't know about you, but my brain chatters all the time. And it's really noisy out there. But underneath all that noise, there's this stillness that we can reach. It's not that far down. And we can get there, and then we're connected to the stillness that sustains the world. I find that that's a profoundly healthy place from which to live. So let's do soft tenshin goso, and we will connect with that stillness and finish our class. So reach out, right hand on top, feet together, left thumb dives inside the right hand. Open up. Soft hands, palm up. I'm going to bend my knees so you can see. Twist your little fingers together. Back to your hips. E is our movement for today, and I think this profound looking through into the new world like this is really a good way to connect with other people. Oh. And back to Om, right hand on top. Yummy. And from there, we'll go straight to our quiet meditation. So hands, feet about hip width apart, hands resting at your sides. Mokso. And close your stance. Mokuso yame into the group. Right. Thank you. Good job.